Hey, bitch! What's up? Welcome back to another edition of the Double D Show. I am your host, Double D, and today we're going to be talking about hair. So I know in the last two videos that you guys have seen me post, was it two? I think it was two. But in the last two videos you guys have seen me post, I'm wearing a new wig, and I think in the best lace wigs unboxing, I told you guys I had made a 360 before, and that 360 just didn't turn out the way that I wanted to, which is why I was like, I'm not making 360s no more. I'm gonna be doing, if I am, I'm gonna be doing them in 613, so I can do some color colors and all of that. Yeah, fuck that, fuck that, fuck that. I wanted to give it a girl. As I told you guys, I went through a bad breakup about a few weeks ago. And as you know, us girls do, when we go through breakups, we do our hair. So I was like, I'm going through a bad breakup. There's some shit going on with this breakup, and I'm not too happy about it. Well, again, we're not going to talk about that yet, but we're going to talk about it very, very soon. Again, keep your eyes on my channel in the next 2 weeks, and we got some stuff coming. But anyways, yeah, so there was some shit going on there, and I was just like, you know what? Rather than me sit here and be angry, vengeful, petty, and all of that, well, actually, I was being petty by going to make this wig because the money that was supposed to go, or that I used for this wig was actually supposed to go back to my ex, but fuck him. You don't get to break my heart and then say I owe you shit. No, that's what we're not going to do. So I said, I'm going to go make myself a wig rather than buy one, because if I would have bought one from like Amazon or whatever, I would have had to wait for it, and I was just like, no, I want that shit now. So I went and bought myself a wig. Well, the stuff to make a wig, rather. Bitch, basically, this is going to be a tutorial about how to make a 360. All right, let's get into it. Okay, bitch, so let's go ahead and go get our materials in order. So first, what you're going to need is some 30 volume developer. I'm using Superstar today. What originally I wanted to use was the Ion Superlift one in a 40, but they ain't had that. So I just went ahead and went with this. We'll call it good. Alright, and then after that, we're going to get your bleach. I'm using Clairol BW2. This is like the only bleach I use, to be honest. That's my favorite. I think it works the best. And yeah, that's what. Yo, applicator brush. Definitely can't forget that. It looks like I also got a whisk in here. This is to help you mix up your bleach. You don't have to have one of these, but I'm lazy. And that's my mixing bowl. Make sure you get a non-metal mixing bowl, as if you're mixing colors and dyes, they can react. So as you can see, this is a 360 silk lace front from Outre. I love Outre. In the video I was gonna do about how not to make a 360, I might still do that. I used Outre bundles, but a frontal from Jay Sensational. The bundles were fantastic. Frontal was horrible. So I lucked out that I actually got a 360 from Outre today. Shout out to Pink Beauty Supply off of Colfax and Chambers. Ay! And the key to this, you also want to make sure that you get that natural brown. I think the frontal is a 16 or 14 inch, but the first bundle is a 16 inch, and then my second bundle is 18 inch. So total, this wig is about 18 inches. So what you want to do is you want to go ahead and spread that guy out on your table. Usually what I do is I unwrap it all the way, then I fold it in half once, and then fold it in half again, and then just lay it flat. Now you want to do this so that way when you're doing your bleach, you're going to be able to do both sides, and by doing it where it's like folded in half and such, this is going to give you better, what's the word? Better bleach coating and everything. So you're gonna be able to get through all the fibers and everything and get your bleach on there, so it's really gonna sleep in. So what you're gonna do is just go ahead and you get your bleach. Once it's all mixed up, you want to mix that in a 1-to-2 ratio. What that means is you want to take, for however many scoops of bleach powder you put, you want to double that with your developer. And then once you get it good and mixed up, it should be like real frothy, like look kind of like melted frosting, and then you just gonna go ahead and then just start painting that shit on your hair like it's a paintbrush, bitch. And the thing I didn't do this here, so don't follow what I'm doing. I made a few mistakes. This is actually one of the few 360s I've made that actually came out well. But you want to actually start from the bottom. Now, once you get it mostly coated all the way through, I'm going to be jumping through here to show you guys some different stuff. But since I'm ombreing this one, what you want to do is when you're doing this, you want to do it at an angle and go back over it once you got everything bleached over. This way you'll have better striation. You won't have like a line of demarcation where it just looks like you randomly put in you know, like it's all choppy and shit. No, you want it to look like it's faded, it's colored, which is why you know how in some spots the bleach goes up further in the hair and then other spots. I don't mind none of that because again, we're trying to get our hair to be ombre, so we want to do that as best as possible. Now once you've gotten that done, you're going to actually flip your hair over and then coat the other side. Now by doing that, again, that's going to help you get the bleach seeped into the hair. Once you've got both sides coated, you're then going to pull it up and I'm gonna just wait a little bit till I actually speed it up because I had a case of the Strugs. Cameo to my baby boy Demix right there. Wanted to come say hi to his mama. I love him. But yeah, now as you see, I'm going to go ahead and take my fingers and I'm just going to start working that bleach into the strands. So that way, not only is it going to get on the other side, but it's going to get all the random little strands on the inside too. So you just take your fingers, you just comb it on through. You get it as much as massage in there as you think you need to have it, girl. That's what you're going to do. This is your hair. This is what you're doing it. If you watching this tutorial, I definitely do not recommend watching this for no clients because, bitch, I'm still working out how to figure this shit out for myself. But anyways, once you get all that bleach work through there, you're going to kind of like start folding your bundles back up. You want it to kind of look like the bundle did when it first came out of there. So it's going to be wrapped, I think, 4 times. But by doing this helps you like keep your hair together because what we're going to do now is we're actually getting ready to wrap it up in foil so that way the foil is actually going to take a little bit better. Or not the foil, the bleach. So by wrapping it up in the foil, that's going to help the bleach take a little bit better. Now, since this isn't actually on your head, you need to wrap your bundles in foil. Otherwise, they're not going to process correctly and you're not going to get that look that you want. Get that shit out of here. All right, so now once you got your bundle wrapped up, you're gonna go ahead and fold that motherfucker up like so, and then you just gonna go ahead and keep folding it. You want to make sure it's nice and tight, kind of seal it in. You don't want any air getting into it or air getting out or anything. You want to try and seal that as best as possible so all the bleach stays in there and stays working and processing on the hair. Now once you've got that done, since we're using a 30 volume, you could probably let that sit for about 30 to 40 minutes. You want to check it though like every 10 to 15. So I already went ahead and colored my second bundle while before I went ahead and checked this, which is why I'm checking on it now, is because I actually just finished coloring my second bundle. But you're just gonna go ahead and go through. I noticed here with my bundle, it was lightening up, but it didn't light up as much as I wanted. So I went ahead and actually added in a little bit more bleach. I went ahead and did like I was telling you guys, where I finger combed my hands through it and got the bleach onto the other strands and everything. And one thing I can say about this hair is it's fantastic. It was not shedding at all during the bleaching process. So again, shout out to Outre. That shit was awesome. Just sensational, not so much. But yeah, we're gonna go ahead and coat that again with a little bit more bleach. Just working in the spots that we need it on. You just get a little bit coated in there and then working in with our fingers. Open it up where we need to. And then when we're done with that, we're going to go ahead and fold it back up and let it sit for another 10-15 minutes. So while my bundles are sitting, now I'm going to go ahead and start working on my frontal. Now, while I was actually coloring my bundles, I let my wig cap sit on my mannequin head so that way it got stretched out. I actually have a 22.5-inch circumference head, but it's really hard to find those in mannequin heads. So what you can do is actually just go up half a size. So since I'm a 22.5, if I get a 23-inch mannequin head, it'll actually still fit my head as if it was actually fitted to a 22.5. And the reason being is you lose half a size when you make wigs. So you should always try to go one size up. Now I'm going to go ahead and start coloring on the frontal. I'm going to tell y'all now, I had a case of the Strugs doing this. I didn't realize that I actually had my frontal upside down and I was putting it upside down on the mannequin head. You want to make sure that when you're putting your frontal on, you have it on as if it's going to go onto your head. So you want to line up those ear holes and all of that and then slide it on there. Once I finally got it slid on and secured, I put it down, pinned it down with some bobby pins. And then we're going to go ahead and section her off into 4 different sections. So that way when we start our bleaching and everything, this is going to be a lot easier on us and we're not going to have as much hair in the way. Now, when you actually start bleaching these sections, you're going to bleach them exactly the same way that you bleached the bundles. Now, I only had time to get through 2 of the 2 back sections before it was time for me to go wash my bundles out. So since we're bleaching them, what I like to use is the Color Solutions shampoo by Ion, also known as the Purple Cool Blonde. You go ahead and rinse that out, let it sit down for like 10-15 minutes. It helps tone your bundles up. I didn't show that because I didn't like how this stuff recorded on my phone or nothing. And I don't have a camera that can move. So unfortunately, I won't be able to show y'all all of that. Hopefully in the future we can get there, but right now we're kind of in a fixed position when it comes to videos. So after that, again, you're gonna keep coloring it like I said, as if you were coloring your bundles. You want to keep going at that angle, lifting it up, coloring the top and the bottom, so that way you can get all of that bleach through everywhere you need it to get. And remember, you also want it to creep up into the roots of the hair. So now, like I said, I was actually trying to color this and do a dip dye on it. So I had like titanium and lavender, and it actually didn't take the color the way I wanted it at all. The only portion that took the color was the frontal, and that came out more of like a purplish brown. I think a good portion of it is because it didn't get to that super blonde like I wanted it, but I wasn't trying to reprocess my hair multiple times to fuck it up. So this, like I said, this is the finished result of what it looked like after I did that dip dye on it. This is the only portion that ended up taking like the purple, and you're gonna see like the other bundles are like blonde. But again, I was okay with that because for me, I like having hair that's like multiple shades of different color throughout the hair. So I was like, okay, cool, I'm cool with it, because basically all 3 of my bundles are different shades of color. And I was like, okay, cool, we can rock that. We can rock that. I'm known to be a weird eclectic bitch, so that'll make me know, never mind. So what we're gonna do first, now that we have our wig secured on air, not our wig, our front secured, is we're gonna go ahead and start sewing around that perimeter line I just showed you guys. This is gonna secure your wig onto the dome cap, and then that's gonna allow you to cut off the extra pieces of the cap that you no longer need. So like I said, we're just gonna go all the way around. So to do that, you sew at a circular motion. You just kind of go in, come out, go back a little bit further to the right than where you started, and pull it back through. And then you're gonna keep doing that all the way around the perimeter until you get back to the starting point. I'll tell y'all now, I'm sorry, my camera angles are actually kind of bad with this. They're kind of really bad. It's my first time doing one of these, so I've been learning as I go, and the last time I did one, I had a completely different setup in my room, so that one was easier to be seen. With this setup, I'm still working out the kinks and the bugs and everything, so I apologize in advance, but just try to follow along as best as you can. I'll point out shit to you when I can. So yeah, I think we're just about done sewing that around. Like I said, we just go all the way around the perimeter. This secures your lace down to the wig cap, so that way you can get rid of all the extra elastic. One thing I forgot to mention is when you're securing your wig, since you are gonna cut off all of that extra elastic because this is a 360, you don't have to worry as much about your wig placement, but you definitely want to get your lace as close to the lip of the wig cap as possible. By doing that, that's gonna help you maintain a good looking hairline. Now again, since you're gonna cut the majority of it off, if you don't get that on your first time, it's okay. It just may make your hair and your wig look just a little bit weird when you put it on your head. But if you can know how to customize your wigs, all right, so what we're gonna do now is we're gonna go ahead and start sewing this perimeter line down at the bottom. What that's gonna do is basically just pin this down. Oh, I already told y'all that shit. my computer keeps crashing and I've had to re-record this voiceover multiple times. So honestly, I don't know what I have and have not said to y'all. So I just keep talking. So we'll get there hopefully. I think I fixed it this time, but we'll get there. But yeah, as a matter of fact, I am actually done with the perimeter line, it looks like. So I'm gonna go ahead and show you guys what that looks like. This, again, this is to secure your lace front down to the wig cap. Now we're gonna go ahead and secure all this lace up at the top down as well, doing the same method. And then afterwards, we're gonna go ahead and re-sew it again, using the method that we use to actually sew our bundles. So I'll show you guys that here in just a second. We're gonna go ahead and cut over to that and you'll see like the majority of what I've done already. So yeah, let's go ahead and get there. So as you can see, like I said, I already went ahead and did the circular perimeter there. That one just kind of holds your lace down to the side, but going over it a second time gets all those extra little edges and everything. So make sure that your lace is like really laid down to your waist cap. This also helps so that way when you're doing certain styles with your bundles still look a little bit more natural because it's on lace, even though it's not directly on the lace. But you know, it's cool. It's cool. It's gonna look what it's gonna look, and I promise you, it's gonna turn out right. The thing with this though is when you actually do start doing your bundles, since this is a 360, you want your bundles basically to be sitting directly on top of each other. Like, I know in most wigs, they'll tell you like, try to space it out as much as possible. Don't do that here. Don't do that here. You want your bundles to be sitting on top of each other pretty much. You're gonna get like the density and the fullness in the back and everything from the frontal. So you might as well just go ahead and try to make it fit as much as your hair as you can in there, because I actually have seen tutorials where girls will make one make a 360 using one bundle, but I don't recommend it. I actually ended up using 1 1/3. I still have a whole hell of a lot more of my bundles left, but it's all good. It is all good. So now we're gonna go ahead and start sewing our bundles. Now to do this, we sew through the weft on the bundle and then through the lace. You're gonna go ahead and loop around the needle 2 times and then pull it all the way through, and then you're gonna go through there a second time. Now, most wig tutorials, people will actually start sewing underneath the weft when they start sewing down their bundles. I don't do that because I find that I get a lot of hair caught in there and I get more shedding and everything when I start brushing it. So what I'm doing is I'm actually sewing through the wefts all the way through on the wig. Wearing it, I haven't noticed any different than I would have on any of my other wigs or tracks or anything. If anything, I feel like this is way more secure. So now that we've reached the other ear hole here on the 360, now what we're going to do is go ahead and switch our bundles back. So you do this so that way you can keep your bundles, because you never know, you might need to go back in and fix your wig up one day, or you might be like, hey, this is a really nice color and I have another wig that this would go well with, so let's go do that, or whatever. You know, you never know. You never know when you're going to need your extra bundles or whatever. So you switch them back instead. So to do that, what you do is you sew through the first bundle and then you sew it back over once it's folded over, and then you're gonna loop it down a few times and then sew it in place. Now, when I'm doing it here, I actually was running out of thread, so that's why I looped it that many times. But you basically keep doing that until you are about 2/3 of the way done with the wig. And then once you get to the top of the head, like you are at this point, you're actually gonna go ahead and just start going straight across the wig. Now, you're also able to see a little bit more of the color and everything in yall. I think this shit came out pretty nice. I think it came out pretty nice. Like, after letting it tone and everything, like this looks pretty good. Like, even though the frontal took up more of the dye than the rest of the bundles and everything, it still looks good and I still love it. So now we're working on the crown. Again, I'm sorry you guys can't see it. It is what it is. I'm sorry you guys can't see it. I'm learning with my camera angles. We'll get there eventually. Hopefully I'll have a camera soon where I can move it around. Y'all can see what I'm doing, or like a bigger studio or area to record. But until then, we're just gonna work with what we got and then hope we do better on the next time. So right now, when you start doing the crown portion, you want to make sure that those are laying directly on top of each other. So that way it doesn't look as wiggy or anything. You don't want to be switching back. When you reach the end of that, you are going to go ahead and cut it this time. And then when you get to the end of your wig, you want to put your last bundle right up against that hair. So y'all remember that little black line I helped y'all make earlier? The circular perimeter one? Yeah, that one. You want your last bundle to be sitting directly on top of that when you sew this in. So that way it looks like, again, you don't have any spaces in it. It don't look too wiggy. It looks like it's your actual natural real hair. So once you get that done, girl, you are done. Afterwards, you're gonna go ahead, take the wig off, cut off all your excess black cap. Be very careful. Make sure you do not cut up any of your threads, but you don't need any elastic or anything because now that you got your lace front, you can go ahead and lay that down using either your glue, your lace tape, your Gots to Be glue, whatever you like to use if you're your 360s or your lace fronts with, go ahead and do that. I recently discovered the combination of lace glue and lace tape, but after being sick yesterday and sweating my glue out, and realizing that the tape stayed, I think I'm only just gonna do lace tape right now because, like I said, like I was sweating, y'all. I woke up in a puddle of my sweat and that tape was stuck. Glue was sliding all over my head, but the tape, oh, it wasn't doing nothing. But hey, look at that, bitch. We done now. We done now. Time to unhook this bitch and get her going. Alright, bitch, this is the finished product of this wig. Like I said, I love it. I love it. You guys can't really tell because of all the lighting on it or anything, but when it's in the sunlight and everything, it looks pretty good. Like it's like I said, it's like purpley and gold in the front. But like in the back, there's like more hints of blonde and everything. So like I love it. I love it. It's fantastic. This is the best 360 I've ever made, hands down. Like I didn't even have to like do my baby hairs too much. I just had to trim them up a little bit, make those where I wanted them to be. And that was literally it, y'all. Like this frontal pretty much came ready to go out the box. I mean, for like an everyday person who's like, you know, I'm doing this, like they take their wig game like ultra serious, then you might still want to pluck it a little bit, because I found that like when I do parts, my parts aren't like super deep enough where you can like see the scalp or whatever. But again, for me, that's fine. I'm not tripping. That's not a big deal to me, so I don't care. But you know, I know some people out there do. But yes, bitch, that was how to make a 360. I hope you had fun and enjoyed. Again, I apologize for the camera angles. I am working on it and we will do better next time. We all start somewhere, and by starting and reflecting on our mistakes, we can learn how to do better. So yes, that's my takeaway for today. I'm Double D and I'm out.